Hi everyone, well, I'm recording a video as promised about other brokers where we also trade. Literally fresh accounts, 2 fresh accounts with one broker. I've already added them to my FX book. You might have seen them on our MyFX book or in the Telegram group. Now, before we move on, I just want to take a moment to quickly show you exactly what the deposit amount was on both of the accounts and also what the final profit turned out to be in each case. The trading was carried out using NewHop, which is a robot that operates with the smart hidden strategy. So let's take a closer look at those details. People often ask what kind of profit can be generated, and they usually want to hear a specific answer. Unfortunately, there is no specific answer to this question. There are too many factors here that affect the profit. The broker affects the profit, your deposit affects the profit, and the settings can affect the profit, you see? So there isn't even an average. You can't say 20, 40, 100%, 200%. And I personally don't always understand what kind of request a client comes with. One person thinks about depositing $500, while another thinks about depositing $50,000. And for one, $1,000 is okay, but for another, it's something unrealistic. So it's very hard to say here, and everything is very, very individual. That's why it's very difficult to name specific figures here, you see. There are just too many nuances that trading depends on, that profit depends on. And it's better, I always say, it's better to look at the history, take a moment to look at the fresh accounts, and also check the average profit shown on my FX book. It always gives you an average, so you can get a better idea of what is really going on. The only thing is, we'll even look together now at what I mentioned in my Trader's Diary videos, in the Trader's Journal, that when we add accounts to my FX book, it always shows a drawdown of 10, 20, or 40%. In reality, that's not true. It essentially doesn't exist. The thing is, it displays it incorrectly and doesn't understand the robot's logic, because we have, for example, 2 positions open. I'll explain it in very simple terms. 2 positions, one for buying, the other for selling, and one will be, I don't know, plus 500, the other minus 500. And at the moment of reopening, when our positive position closes, the negative one remains for a moment, and at that point, it graphically displays it as a drawdown. But I've explained it very simply and not entirely accurately. But that's roughly how it thinks we have some kind of real drawdown. In fact, there isn't any. So you're always, in terms of balance or equity, you're always making money. Well, assuming your settings are correctly configured and you're generating a profit, there's basically no drawdown like with martingale here. It's not even part of the logic that there would be any drawdown at all. All right, let's go straight to the accounts. Look, as I promised, I'm not hiding the brokers' names. Everything's posted, it's all open. People message me as soon as I upload it to my FX book, both clients and non-clients. Basically, it's normal practice for non-clients to write. And just yesterday, I was talking to this person. He asked, saying it's better not to post the broker because competitors will come. And in a few days, that broker stops yielding a profit. There really is such a trend. This sometimes happens when we might post a broker openly. It immediately spreads to other channels and groups. People open hundreds of accounts there, maybe even thousands, I don't know. And everyone accordingly makes some profit. The broker sees this and starts fighting it because people really start earning a lot. Well, almost everyone, roughly speaking. Maybe small amounts or maybe large ones. And he's just trying to protect himself somehow. So accordingly, he starts changing trading conditions or might even remove the trading instrument being used for profit. Well, again, to earn, you also need to find the right settings, as I mentioned before. So there are many nuances with the settings here. And here it's really, really important. Basically, we're still actively working with this, and we continue to earn with this broker even up to this very day. We're not hiding it at all, because in my personal view, not everyone will necessarily be able to figure out or fully understand the settings involved. So if anyone succeeds, then good luck. Again, I want to repeat that in any field, with any broker, there are nuances and secrets. And accordingly, just like with this broker, there are secrets to earning, you see? So when someone's interested in, for example, a robot and the software that comes with it, they understand that buying a robot isn't 100% success. That is, they also need to be ideally given those settings and a broker where they can earn. And even better if they're also trained so they understand how to earn for themselves. That, of course, is the hardest part of this profession. So, well, let's go ahead and move over to our terminal now. It's actually pretty simple here. IC Markets, as you probably already know, is a subsidiary. Well, as most of you are aware, this broker is extremely popular and widely used by traders all over the world. Now, once again, coming back to another question that people often ask. How exactly do you go about finding brokers? This isn't our first time trading with this broker. As I've said before, you can trade with them for a while, but then they stop paying out profits. After 3 months, 6 months, or a year, you come back and look, it's working again. With this broker, I don't know, it's probably our third time making money, maybe even the fourth. If you go to my MyFX book and scroll through the history, I'm sure IC will be in there somewhere. Yeah, it's definitely in there somewhere. So that's pretty much how it works. You either find new ones or cycle back to the old ones occasionally. And that's it. Now look, let's take a look at the first account. The only thing is I'm blurring out the names of the account holders for privacy. However, other than that, it's a real account. Well, those who know trading can see it for themselves. Look, here's the most common question I get. Can you make money starting with $100? As practice shows, you can. And in principle, you can probably make money anywhere. But then again, they don't always pay out everywhere. Everything is fine with this broker. This broker pays out, so we managed to make money from $100 or 97 to be exact. And here we made, roughly speaking, 1,000%, earning $1,000. I think that's a great result. This goes back to the question people ask, what percentage do you make? Well, specifically right here, it turned out to be 1,000%. Look, we have MyFX book open on the right side. Now we'll switch. This is a different account, just a second. All right, now I'll go ahead and open up this first account. There, that's everything we're looking at. We ended up with 939% here. The deposit and the net profit. And again, here's the drawdown. This is exactly what I was talking about. The drawdown, you see, it always shows these really high numbers. The system just isn't calculating it correctly. In reality, this system doesn't actually have a drawdown like that. Ivan and I will, at some point in the future, record a full detailed video together. We actually had one on the channel before, but it turned out to be a bit too complex and technical for most viewers, since it really requires diagrams and visual aids to properly explain the concept of the average price. We realized that we need a dedicated step-by-step video to clearly explain how it all works, in conjunction with the program's underlying logic, because, as you can see, I've only been able to give a brief overview here, and I really hope you were able to follow along. So what you see written there is not always true, and unfortunately, it's just not the case. Returning to the terminal, here is the first account. Take a look. Balance top up on the 2nd, February 2nd for $97. All right, we started trading as usual from 001, the selection began of settings. After the settings are selected, it increases, the lot increases, or the auto lot is turned on altogether, which is very convenient, and you just watch as the lot automatically goes up, which is what we're seeing. From 01, it went to 003, 005. There it is. See how it goes in progression? That's it, finished with 0013. We finished, made a net profit of $912.35, totaling $1,009. Everything's withdrawn. The client got their money. I'll try to ask him for a screenshot showing the money was credited. If he doesn't mind, he'll send it, and then I'll post it in the Telegram channel for this trading account. Of course, we'll blur out any of his personal data, but the point is, again, the client received it, and that's what matters most. So as I said before, earning it is the first hard part. The second is actually withdrawing it. So everything's great. And there you go. It traded from the 2nd to the 3rd. Roughly speaking, the account ran for 24 hours. See, this is what I was telling you about. Meaning, the system, it's not like we can just buy it and, I don't know, work with it for a month, maybe 2, 3, or even an entire year. or like people who come in thinking the broker earns money from our commissions, so they believe the broker will not block us and are not really interested in withholding the profile, the earnings, or the profit. In these situations, their assumptions can lead to misunderstandings about how things actually work. I'd like to believe that, and of course such brokers certainly exist, but they have their own issues too. And with $100 an account with them, well, we probably won't be able to open one, so we work with what we have. And so we're showing it exactly as it is. So you can start with $100, use high leverage, and be done in a day. Sure, there are companies where you can make 20% a month, but no more, and work there for several months. But here again, it all depends on your goal. If someone wants to earn over a long time and gradually, okay, and they have a large sum of money, well, fine. Other people just come in, they know what they want to earn specifically, and they're ready to take all the risks. By risks, I mean, what I'm really saying here is that the broker might just decide to block your account, just like in this example right here, after only a day or so, right? And then you would take your money back out and then go ahead and open a brand new account somewhere else. And so you end up doing this in a kind of ongoing cycle where you keep searching for another broker. And this means there's really no true or lasting stability in the sense that this particular broker will always be there for you or that you can rely on them in the long run. Constantly provide. No, that won't happen, of course. So you're forced to always look for new ones, well, or go back to the old ones. Let's move on to another account. Everything's clear with one account. It clearly shows that from $100 you can make 1,000. I also uploaded it to my fax book. You can go online and check everything, look at the order history. For those who know what the MyFaxbook platform is, I'm still addressing beginners or people who are new to the profession or think that something here is wrong or not quite right. So MyFaxbook is a platform where you can track the trading history on a real account. In principle, to fake a real account there, well, and get a check mark that it's a real account, I think it's, well, impossible. I mean, I don't know of any such examples. Now, IC Markets isn't some small company. It's a fairly large company that everyone talks about, and I doubt they'd resort to some kind of shady schemes just to attract attention. And besides, we have a long history there, and you can see there that it's not just IC Markets. There are many different companies, and very large ones too. Pepperstone alone was worth a lot in its time. All right, let's move on to another broker. Sorry, to another account. The broker remains IC Markets as well. This is just a typical story. How it happens, I'm just showing you with a live example when we find some company that we can earn from, and most importantly, that pays out. That's it. So we test first with small money, with $100. Then we start pouring in other money and create many new accounts. So preferably from different IP addresses for different people. So look at the next account. So here we had a top up, which means that additional funds were added to the account. Now let's scroll down slowly and take a closer look at the deposit section. Our deposit here was $3,300, already more than $100, and our profit has increased accordingly. That is, our profit here is $10,069.17. In other words, this is the total amount we have earned. We can also see for what period of time this was, so we know exactly when this profit was made. Yes, so from February 2nd to March 3rd. As you can see, this account was checked even earlier in 2025. This is an old account, and as you can see, it was being tested on gold. I mentioned before that old accounts might not work, specifically those that have already been traded. Traded accounts where you've made a large profit might not be suitable, but this account was just old, it hadn't been traded on yet, so it was simply topped up with 3,000. You can see that here on the 3rd, and so from the 3rd, it's been using auto lot. Just like the first account, the lot size increased automatically, just less so on the 3rd and 4th. Let's take another look, and anyway, it ran for less than 24 hours, and in that time it made 10,000. A withdrawal was requested and the money arrived. I'll also get in touch with this person. I'll ask him to send a photo confirming that he has received the funds, and I'll also post it in the Telegram channel for everyone to see. You can also check my book if you want. I'm going to share this account with you on my Xbook right now so you can follow along and monitor the progress. There you go. See, it all depends on the deposit and the client's goals. Here, for example, we achieved 200%. But 200%, 214 to be exact, on 3,000 isn't the same as 1,000% on $50 or $100. Because in that case, we only made about 1,000, roughly speaking. But here, in this situation, we actually made 10,000. That's why it's honestly hard to say exactly what percentage of profit the trading system can generate. You really can't even give an average because it's so individual and everyone has different deposits. You can't just pick a specific number and say, okay, let's say the average is 100%. 100%. The most common question people typically ask is what percentage the system actually makes over a certain period, like a month. How do you even answer that question? How can you say how much profit it makes in a month when it has only been trading for just a single day? With this broker, our only goal is to make money, so we use aggressive settings right away. We crank the auto lot to the max and keep going until the end. Until the end means until you're blocked or the trading conditions are changed. That's it. So how can we answer this? Maybe 100 or 200% a day or even 1,000% a day. But when you say that, people don't believe you. They'll just say that's nonsense. So that's how it is, you see? I mean, I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone or make excuses to anyone. That's exactly why I started this Trader's Diary, just to show how this system works. What it is, what it's like, and how things actually happen in real life. So accordingly, it happens that you make 200% in a day and just withdraw the money. This is just an example using these two accounts. But you understand that when you have several interested people, when there are quite a few people who are interested, then you have many passports, many different accounts. Everything there is much bigger. Trading on multiple VPS servers from different IP addresses, and the numbers are far higher. Well, basically we have clients who do exactly that. They have several passports, they go to this broker and first open an account for themselves. If they make a profit, that's it. They immediately open 4, 5, 10 accounts and trade to the max. Well, that's how the world of Forex trading is structured. At least from my perspective, because we use arbitrage trading systems, that's how it is for us. For other people, it's different. Some people use technical analysis, day trading, and so on. They have their own story. For us, it's like this. And all the data shown here, I will include it all in the description. And I'll also link everything in the Telegram channel. Also, we already have another broker that's also paying out. I'll record a video about it next. We'll talk about it too. I'll also show what's there. And one more thing before I forget, we can see the drawdown here on the right. Drawdown C, it says 41%. I'll say it again, this is just an incorrect graphical display on my Xbook. Because you can take a look at the Trader's Diary, you can also watch those series we have on YouTube. There, day 1, day 2 of trading, you can see how the trading goes in the intervals with sped up time, and you can see there's basically no drawdown. The balance or equity is always positive there, so overall it is always in the black. This is a smart hidden feature. It is certainly different in its logic, but it works in more or less the same way, to put it very simply. I mean, it probably looks pretty much the same as the regular hidden, but it is definitely more advanced with additional settings available for trading and a slightly different underlying logic. My point is that the drawdown and trading style are the same, and there won't be a drawdown. This is just due to incorrect display because many clients, when they look at my Xbook, they say, oh no, you have a huge drawdown of 40%, but unfortunately it's not our fault that the platform displays it this way, so there is no such real drawdown. You can see how the trading is done in the Trader's Journal. And also I will definitely, try my best to record and to do a live stream, to actually do a live stream of trading, on a real account, so that you can see how it works in real time with one of the two brokers, so that in real time you could see how the trading is done. And then we will also save this recording so that those who missed it could watch it later in the history. Well, that's all. Thank you all. Successful trading to everyone. All the best. Talk to you all later. Bye.